Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and welcome to SNNLive. We're at the Metals and Minerals Investment Conference here in San Francisco, 2012. Mr. Andrew Thomson of Soltoro Ltd, SOL on the TSX venture. Andrew, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks, Shelley. Thanks very much.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Okay.
How are things?
Things are going all right. We'd like to see a more buoyant market. I do believe that in January, post our tax loss selling season in Canada, we'll probably see an uptick with the juniors. The mid-tiers have started to move. We've seen the seniors move at the end of the summer. So I'm optimistic that we're going to see a rise in the juniors. And I think it's a good inflection point. We're about to resume drilling on our main project. We've got just under 80 million ounces of silver. We have Coeur d'Alene as an investor, so we're pretty excited actually. We've got quite a few things going on. We've got 9 geologists and 30 staff on the property right now, so as we move forward, we're going to continue to prove up our reserve. We're being a bit cautious in terms of the pace we're moving at, but I do feel that we could be into a fairly decent market in the spring.
You know, it's hard to say that you're sitting in a great place at a great time because the markets are so down. Let's be frank. Some companies will not survive. Obviously, Soltoro is in a much better position than a lot of those companies who will not survive. Management deserves the credit. You deserve the credit. What have you done right that you could say is an example to other juniors?
Well, I think the one thing we've done, we shepherded our cash, and we haven't been as aggressive as we've been previously with our exploration, but I think on a very macro basis, everything's moving towards a production profile. Without cash flow, you're gonna be in trouble. And so the greenfields projects that are out there that do not have resources are in trouble. And fortunately, we have a primary silver play with a significant resource. We're just under 80 million ounces, so that puts us in a unique position. We're lucky enough to be in Mexico, which in the Americas is one of the better jurisdictions, and there's actually quite a few companies now coming to Mexico with the balance of Latin America off the plate. So it's really a combination of luck. I don't know that we're better or worse than anyone, but in terms of planning for these downturns, we've been fairly judicious in terms of watching our cash flow and making sure that we have enough money to come out the other side.
What do you see in the next year, 2013?
Well, you're seeing there's been a few merger acquisition plays that are fairly significant. The pricing hasn't been that great on a per ounce basis, but the senior companies have lifted. There's the mid caps now are starting to lift and being taken out. I actually am fairly bullish. I think the U.S. economy is going to recover. I think now that we're post-election, there's a good argument to be made that housing starts have turned. And I actually feel strongly that this is a pretty unique opportunity, and that you're going to see the juniors that have been in the doldrums for some time. I don't think it's going to be led by a big retail surge, but I do think there's a big M&A period coming up with the seniors' stock pricing going higher and their need to improve their resource capital and be able to acquire companies to put them into production to meet demand 10 years from now. I think they're going to get pretty aggressive. So I think you're going to see the quality companies with quality assets. One day they'll be trading at a certain share price, the next day there's an announcement, and that will drive more investment into the space. So it's going to take some time. There's companies that again will be diluted out of the game because they don't have good assets and cash, but it's a good thing. We need a bit of a cleansing because there's too much paper in the marketplace. So I'm actually pretty optimistic that come January, the end of January and to March next year, our regular cycle, we missed it last year, and I think this year we're going to see a bump. So now I know you're silver predominantly. Do you feel the same way about other metals, or is it just really a silver play at this moment? Well, I think if you look at iron ore and copper, they're going to continue to be in high demand in China. There's a lot of people saying China's sort of on the downturn. I don't actually believe that. I think those commodities will continue to outperform versus their traditional pricing. I think with gold, I think it's still, against inflation. There's a big argument to be made for going much higher, and I think it'll drag silver with it. But I'm actually fairly quantitative easing. Unfortunately, when we print a lot of paper, causes the price of metals to look like they're going higher, but at the end of the day, they're really just maintaining their value. So I do believe that if more money is printed, that the value will go up exponentially if they continue to print as much money as they have. And the reality is the world is in debt, and that's the only way out. And they're trying to inflate their way out. So with inflation comes higher commodity prices for precious metals. So I think we're in the middle of a cycle. I think if you look at what your grandparents consumed 2 generations ago, what we consume now, it's safe to say their consumption is alive and well, and I just don't see that there's any argument against the mass consumption that's going on. And I think precious metal prices, you know, they're more dependent on the fundamentals of the monetary system, and they can't go down if we're printing money. So, you know, I'm pretty bullish. I think we're in the middle of a cycle. I think we're still in the middle of a big commodity cycle.
I think your next career could be voted. You could be voted into Congress in the United States. I don't want to go there too much, but anyway. For more information about this man and about his company, which website do you want him to go to?
Soltoro.com. SOLTORO.com.
We need you in Congress.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks for coming on.
Okay. Bye-bye.